I got two questions for you. Who says you can't block sand a 1992 Honda Prelude and spray paint a small block Chevy oil pan? Huh? What's up, guys? Welcome back to the shop. On this episode, we're working on Project Prelude again. We're going to start doing the patch panels, finish up the patch panels on the driver's side, and then tear into the passenger side. I'm hoping to get this thing in paint in the next month or so, maybe early December. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and follow us on this journey. Let's get this thing in paint and get it done, because I want to go out and beat on this thing next spring. Let's get to work. Alright guys, so the other day, had a little extra time at lunch, came home, got done eating, got done shitting, was ready to go. So I figured I'd try to get this little patch in here. Didn't have any GoPros in here, but I just wanted to kind of get it tacked in here, so I threw some boogers on it. And we're in the process of getting that patch put into place. So we'll cut to time lapse and we'll try to get the thing welded in tonight. Alright guys, well, we got this patch welded in here, boogered in. Got the inner patch and the wheelhouse there all done. So I'm going to go ahead and buff this stuff off a little bit. It did warp just a little bit right there. I think I might try to hammer that just a little bit. But this whole area was kind of a little bumped up anyway. So I'm going to get this all bumped off with the DA. Maybe get a hammer in there a little bit, and then yeah, we'll throw a little fiberglass on it. A little kitty hair. Meow. Alright guys, so while we're waiting for this fiberglass kitty hair to dry, I went and fogged the back side of that patch panel there. Probably can't see it in there, with primer, and just loaded it down in there. And I know I did a good job because I can see it running out of that corner there where there's no seam sealer. So that's what I want to see. I want to see a lot of primer down there, making sure we got down all those low spots. So if there is any moisture down there, we don't get any rust. So while that waits to dry, I don't know what I'm going to do. Probably go have a beer. So I'll cut back when I start sanding that kitty hair. Alright guys, we got the best of the two driver's side doors reattached and lined up. Looks pretty good. Gap's fairly consistent, a little tighter on the bottom, but it's not terrible. And then we got our kitty hair roughed in. So we're going to get some mud smeared across here tomorrow night and get started getting that glassed out, and then probably start stripping this door down and seeing what we find underneath there. I know there's a big dent right here. I think that happened from being in storage. This door has been repainted just based on some of the chips and stuff that's up here. There's a nice run right there that I don't think would have came from the factory. So hopefully there's not a lot of garbage in there. It looks good in the pinch weld. So I know doors tend to like to rust out down around the bottom here in the pinch weld. It looks pretty good in there, so hopefully it's a clean door. If it's not, we can go back to the silver one, which was rougher than this one. So hopefully, maybe, just maybe I'll get lucky and we'll have a good clean door here with just a little bit of, a couple dents we just need to pull out and get her stripped down and get rid of this old crappy paint on it. So I'm going to call it a night tonight, and I'll be back at it tomorrow. Later. up, guys? Welcome back. It's a new night. I've been working a little bit, doing a little time-lapse stuff, getting this door stripped apart. To get the side view mirror out, there's 3 screws there. You got to undo a little plastic trim piece. Pops right out. To get the glass out, not too terrible. I rolled the window down almost all the way until the bolt holes, or these holes right here in the door, lined up with the bottom rail or the bottom of the glass, and then just undid those 2 bolts and got the window, pushed it in, slid it down, and then also undid this bolt over here just to get it so I could push it out of that track. And once it slid down, you had to get it to come down. It's going to be hard to see in here. You had to get the window to come down lower than, well, it's not on there anymore, this track that sits right here. And there's a little tab that runs up and down in here, and that centers the window in this area. So this sits in here like this, and I just had to get it lower than that, and then that would let the window come out. In order to get this piece out and get all this weather stripping that goes all through in here out, you have to peel this little plastic piece on. Some double-sided sticky tape holds it off. You peel this piece off and you expose the 4 screws, which are right here. And then once those are loose, you can pull that piece off, and this weather stripping sits down in here, and you can pop each one of those orange little tabs out, and then the whole weather stripping will come out. So we got this door stripped down with the weather stripping, door handle, glass, felt, window felt. Still didn't figure out a really good way to take the window felt off right here. I broke half the clips getting it out. So if you guys know a better way to get it out than just what I do, go ahead and shoot a comment down below. Let me know how you guys take it out. But now that we got the door stripped down, it's probably going to be time to start stripping the paint off of it and getting it closer to looking gray like the rest of it. This body filler set up just a little tacky, so we'll probably attack that real quick, get that sanded out, and then move over to the door. Oh, check out the new hats. I don't know which side it's on, but what do you think? Finally getting some cool merch. Working on getting some shirts coming too here at some point, so if you guys want to get a hat or you're interested in a hat, let me know in the comments. Let's get this thing stripped. Alright guys, this is why we have got to take these cars apart and strip them all down before we paint them. This door had been painted previously, and they just did a hard tape line. You can see the tape line right here, right underneath the window felt. Not a terribly big deal. It looks just fine when it's first painted. However, you don't get that prepped really well right there, and then the paint just flakes right off because you don't get a nice cut on that underpaint right there. So when it starts flaking off, and a couple years down the road, you end up with paint just flaking off and peeling off around everywhere that you taped off. They didn't tape off, or they didn't take the door handle out, and you can see it's flaking off there. It's just flaking off, flaking off, flaking off. So this is why we got to take the time, take the effort, strip these cars down to bare minimum, paint them, put them back together. It's been a few days. I've worked on this thing a little bit, done some time-lapse stuff. It's not very exciting, so I haven't been cutting in a lot, but we did get the door all stripped off. It was actually in pretty good shape. There was a couple little rough spots here in the middle, and then that one dent that was there, but all in all, it was actually pretty straight. I was surprised how clean it was. We got the front fender fitted. Had to do a little bit of body work right here because this summer one of my employees was dicking around in here and knocked it off the wall and bent this back. So I tried to hammer out the best I could, and it's going to need a little bit of mud. So the goal tonight is going to be wrap up all the body filler on the door and in the fender area, and then maybe possibly just get it in some high build so we can keep this moving forward. We did get the patch in the back here all body filled and worked out and roughed in pretty well, looking pretty close, ready to go. So yeah, we're gonna get this driver's side done. That's the goal. So let's get to it. Alright guys, we got this bad boy ready for primer. I don't know why I'm talking like that, but I am. So we're going to spray a little bit of high build on this fender. We've got this area here, like I said, that got jacked up when the thing got dropped. And then the door. Not too shabby, couple little spots here and there. So we're going to get that sprayed, and then we got the patch area. I'm going to go ahead and spray that. We're not going to spray much over here, if at all. Nothing up here. Mostly just the raw metal and the fender, and then the patched area. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get some primer mixed up, and we're going to spray this thing. Yeah. Alright guys, I got to be honest, that was a close one. I almost mixed up the primer. I was stirring it, and then I remembered I used every last drop of my lacquer thinner. Every last drop last time I sprayed it. So I have nothing to clean the gun out. Luckily, I remembered that. Otherwise I would have been screwed and my gun would have been full of fucking primer. That would have been shit. So, that being said, I guess we're going to go back to working on the engine bay, and I'll get some lacquer thinner tomorrow, and we'll put a lid on this thing and call it a day. Unless, by any chance, somebody wants to bring me some lacquer thinner tonight. Alright guys, well I got a hold of Zach, and he was helping Hartshorn work on his Harley, and Hartshorn happened to have a half a gallon, so Zach's going to run it by on his way home, and we're going to be able to get this thing sprayed. So, yay. Good to have friends that are into cars and what you're working on, because they always have the shit you need when you need it. So let's get some primer mixed up. Alright guys, that's going to be a wrap for this episode. We got the driver's side quarter patch done, body worked, welded in, got the door and fender fitted, and stripped down and body worked. So stay tuned for next episode. We'll be working on the passenger side. We'll be getting that in the same state as the driver's side. Later.